Let's go. Progressive ideology is making people undesirable. I highly agree. Okay, let's see. Matt explained it well. They're trying to put all those systems into one system towns. They did take away, but probably as leeway to add stuff later. Since the new direction for most things was pretty shit, going back to the old stuff may not be that bad as a foundation for a new direction. Did I write something? Oh, it's something I liked. People are commenting. Okay. Alright, so think before you sleep. Another channel I actually really like. This is probably the third video I'm watching by them. That therefore means I will subscribe, because usually if I watch one or two videos I don't subscribe right away. I subscribe if I see like that I actually like their content after multiple times. Let's see what the comment says. As always, in here we check the comment section before we watch the video. Why? Because I like to do shit differently. Infantilization is a growing problem in the world and is a major psychological trigger for me. I hate watching grown adults act like children because children are actually little monsters. It's cute when a kid throws a tantrum because they're powerless. An adult showing these behaviors is horrifying. There are a lot of people in my friends or family circles that demonstrate these behaviors and think making baby talk is nice or cute, but I passionately hate it. A little bit of this fetish is okay, but in large amounts it is very scary. You know what's most sad and pathetic about this is my opinion? That she's not even behaving like an authentic 5-year-old. But like what an adult thinks 5-year-olds act like. Yeah. That she's not even behaving like an authentic 5-year-old, but like what an adult thinks 5-year-olds act. I'm assuming someone there is acting like a child. Saying it's wrong to cast a moral judgment is in itself a moral judgment. Fair enough. I mean, the irony. I have severe depression and anxiety. Maybe I should see a therapist regularly. Nah, I'll just become a puppy. Totally normal and well-adjusted human being who should be celebrated. Yeah, I love how we're celebrating mental disease. And also, I love your picture, sir. That's the... What's her name? From Vikings. The lead actress. Forgot her name. Whatever. No, I can't remember. The thing that bothers me most as a mother, a 5-year-old shouldn't be using a pacifier, nor should they be drinking from a bottle. If your 5-year-old is still using a pacifier or drinking from a bottle, they have problems. If your 20-year-old thinks she's 5 and is still using a pacifier and drinking from a bottle, she has serious issues and you definitely suck as a parent. The keywords here are, this is a subsection of BDSM. So technically all of this is a literal LARP on her part. So she really isn't that crazy, though her bedroom fun shouldn't be a documentary. And those engaged in fetish behavior should be encouraged to evolve the relationship into something normal, because normal exists for a reason. The other thing is, like, if this is subsection of BDSM, now as far as I understand, is this part of the 5-year-old thing? Like, when she pretends she's 5 and that's the BDSM, that means the husband wants to fuck a 5-year-old? Okay, now I have to watch the video, because otherwise this and this make me really concerned. As I start the video again, this is Think Before You Sleep, how progressive ideology is making people undesirable. Before we continue though, like my video, please. I need the likes, man. I can't go on. I feel like nobody likes me. I just see people watch my videos, probably 5 seconds, and they click away. So please, if you can, like the video. Let's go.
Next. My name is Max, and I'm 20, but not really, because I'm 5.
Oh, that's so adorable. No, it's not.
My name is Johnny and I'm 31.
This is my little corner.
So 20-year-old dating a 31. The 31 is okay with her acting like she's a 5-year-old even though she's 20. I'm not sure who has more issues. Straight up. Man, I want to say she, but I think he has more issues than her. I don't know.
And this is where I keep most of my stuffies and some other stuff. And this is my passy box.
I'm more interested in like what their friends think. You know? Like, if this was one of my friends, I'd be like, yo, brother, to get rid of this chick, man. That's not healthy. It's not healthy for you, not healthy for her, man. Seek some help for her, but like you gotta get the fuck out of that relationship. Like this is not, you know.
And this has all of my pacifiers and stuff.
But then again, like what do I know, right? It's like as long as they're happy, right? It's like that's the mentality. As long as they're happy and they're functional, like they live their life the way they want to, and then they die, nothing else matters. Then yeah, if you go into a nihilistic point of view, none of this really matters. Like yeah. You know, the world will burn if more people are like this, but honestly, who cares? The world will burn at some point. Fuck it, nihilistic, and that's it.
And I have a lot of them.
Yep, this is a real thing. That is a full-grown adult pretending to be a 5-year-old, mixed in with the staff at Truly trying to tell us that this is not unhealthy by calling it extreme love or love don't judge. Newsflash, everyone makes judgments. Assuming people would be judgmental of the relationship that you're displaying is a judgment, so even the morality police trying to shame you into not being judgmental can't refrain from being judgmental.
Because they're judging you for being judgmental, yeah.
It really matters because all of that shaming is just to trick you into ignoring the fact that engaging in behavior like what Max and Johnny are doing is not good for them and is actually being acted out as a way of avoiding their real-life problems. For example,
in the words of Peter Pan, I never want to grow up.
Any responsible adult would freak out.
Look, let's be real. If you're a streamer, you also don't want to grow up, okay? But there's still some responsibilities that come into play. You know, eventually whoever's taking care of you will die. The fuck are you gonna do then? Look for somebody else to take care of you? You have to take care of your own shit at some point. You have to grow up at some point. You have to deal with the fucking real world at some point. Right? The sooner you do it, the easier your life will be, right? The reason a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, or like some 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds are doing that as well. But the reason for majority part, young people do not get to be like deal with life is because, first of all, you're trying to protect them from those pressures, right? So it's like, as a parent, you usually want your kids to like grow up and be as much of a base as possible before they deal with it, before they have to deal with life, before they have to deal with responsibilities. And the parents usually try to make their life somewhat like they introduce the responsibility slowly, so the kids will become responsible, but they don't just like force the weight of the world onto the kids' shoulders and like, yeah, deal with it, bitch, right? They don't do that, right? So at some point you have to be responsible for your own life, okay? Everyone is responsible for their own shit, okay? No point staying a kid forever. And trust me, I want to be a kid forever. I still dream about the times when I was when I was in school. Okay, when I was like 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, I still have those dreams and I'm like, wake up with nostalgia. I'm like, man, I want to go back in time, but with the knowledge I have, obviously, and just like go back to school, you know, go back to being 10-year-old. Why? Because there is no stress, no pressure. My parents were not very well off. I had no pressure. I had food on the table, I had a roof over my head, and I was a kid, so anything went. I didn't have a computer, I played outside. I had a computer at some point, I played with a computer. But it wasn't like, you know, I didn't think about these things. It was just like, let me do whatever, right? Kids these days are so spoiled, it's like, you leave them alone. As a kid, by the way, if you're a kid and you're alone, you should never be bored because your mind should be going places. Your mind should be like making you do weird shit being a kid, right? It's like suddenly out of nowhere you start building a fucking tower from like garbage you have in your room. Why? Because you're a fucking kid. Like you just like to explore shit. I see like my client that I train has like his sister's kids are so spoiled. You leave them alone for 2 minutes without like an iPad or whatever, they start walking around screaming they're bored. How can you be bored when you're 6 and 8 years old? That makes no fucking sense. Holy! I need to stop looking at the monitor and looking at the camera when I'm talking, but yeah, it is what it is.
That they heard their kids saying this at 20, because people who work, pay bills, and make enough to survive without living off their boyfriend know that her mentality about not wanting to be an adult and take on responsibility is going to lead her to a very miserable life.
Yeah.
Then imagine being a kid raised by this person.
Oh god.
Yes, some kids have parents who are like this, but maybe I'm all wrong about this. Let's have Max explain it in her adult voice.
DDLG, by definition, is Daddy Dom Little Girl, and it is a subsection of BDSM, which is a part of kink. I was just discovering things about the community. Like
Okay, so I wasn't wrong. So it is a part of BDSM. That is what the comment was talking about somewhere here. Okay. Yeah. The key words here are, this is a subsection of BDSM. Okay. Why is the guy okay with this? What makes the guy want to fuck a 5-year-old? It's like that whole video all over again where it's like, don't call... there's a video of like, stop calling pedophiles pedophile. They're like... something else. They're like... people that desire minority groups or something. I don't know. Like, it's just so weird. It was so weird, man. And it's like... and this is like a shrink. It's like, bro... no. If you're a pedophile, you're a fucking pedophile. You don't need to put any, like, oh, pedophile is like such a negative term. No. Pedophile is a negative term because you're a fucking adult going after fucking kids. Yes. It's not good. Okay? You have a fucking disease. Now again, if you don't act upon it, I don't mind, obviously. But if you go to the park and you look at kids and you fucking jerk off, yeah. Not cool. You know? But it's like, if you can handle the problem and like not go after kids, fuck it. You have a mental issue, but you're not bothering anyone. You know, I don't care about that. But don't avoid what it is. You're a pedophile. It is what it is.
learning a bit more about it, I decided to...
And this guy is, I don't know if it's considered practically a pedophile, but it's like kink pedophile. Right? That's what it is. It's a kink pedophile because she's supposed to be 5 years old and he's banging her. It's weird.
And I've just loved it ever since. It's just me.
Word.
See, I explained it calmly, and that means it's not unhealthy. It's an alternative lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
Just different.
Yeah.
No. There's a reason why people look weird at a 20-year-old who owns a full box of pacifiers and does stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah? You go part?
Because you're off. Mama, Daddy, Baby Day.
Daddy baby day. It's good, Jacko.
Also, I want to take Moana. Moana. Driving to the park.
I understand that she's still young, so she can get away with this stuff. You can drink, party, and waste time in your 20s engaging in addictive behaviors or highly stimulating behaviors without it being the end of the world. But there's something to be said about learning how to be socially desirable at a young age and refraining from behavior that most people would look at and say, that girl needs therapy. Because doing so will give you a huge advantage. A big problem with society today is that people are learning important skills at 25 that they should have learned at 15. What's
True.
going to happen if Max doesn't take care of her mental...
About that point, I like that problem happens mostly because of our education system. Like people learning skills at 25 instead of 15. That happens because of our education system, because you're learning a lot of shit in school that you don't really need to know. Okay? You need practical skills for life. There should be like a class or two about like practical shit. Fixing stuff in your home, making food. These things should be mandatory, right? Like being a cook, knowing how to make food should be mandatory as an education, right? These things like you will need in life. To go, but I can always buy food outdoors. Yeah, if you want to be obese as fuck and unhealthy little shit, yeah, but if you want to be a productive, full of energy, badass motherfucker, you better know how to make your own fucking healthy food. God damn, it's so important. right? Things that I wish they would had in school always. Cooking, physical activity, PE, mandatory. I heard it's not mandatory, like starting from 10th grade or some shit. That's so dumb. Physical activity is mandatory. To the point where you go to a gym and you learn how to use the equipment and you learn about how your muscles work. And how to make like a proper workout routine. Not the best workout routine, but at least a proper one. These things should be, they're so mandatory for your life. This is where people like, you want to fight obesity? Teach kids how to not be obese. But I'm like, you know, digressing a bit into my own passions, right? So what I was thinking about to say before this whole rant about fitness. She is the product, this 20-year-old who is acting like 5-year-old. She's the product of the whole mentality. Oh, don't care what other people think. No. You should care what other people think. You shouldn't take it to heart, but you should care. Other people judge you to try and, like, you know, it's like, imagine like you are like going down like a lake, right? And there's like, you know, zombies on one side, vicious animals on the other. And your boat starts steering into one direction. And people's judgment is like, the reason I'm using a boat analogy is because I see a boat and I see the lake, so I'm like, whatever. And people's judgment is like a random fucking log of wood hits you on the side and steers you back in the right direction. And then again, you start going to the wrong direction where it's dangerous, like the other side, the zombies. Boom, another log comes in, tells you like, no, you gotta keep going this way. That's what people's judgments are. Like, this is why I don't believe in fat shaming. Again, me and my fucking rant about fitness. Okay, I do not believe in fat shaming. You know why? Two things. One, if you get offended by someone calling you fat, means you know you should be doing something about it. Because you care about this shit. And two, if it doesn't offend you, if you actually don't care about it, it should not offend you. But let's be real. And those are the cases, right? Those are the only two cases that I can think of that invalidate fat shaming. Because you're one or the other. You either care about what people say or you don't care about what people say. If you care about what people say, you know you need to do something about it. If you don't care what people say, then you're just gonna go ahead and be obese, and you're gonna end up like this 20-year-old who thinks she's 5-year-old because you don't care about other people's opinion. You don't want them to steer you in the right direction. When someone tells me I'm fat, first thing I want to do is it's not beat them up, okay? Is go to the gym and stop eating trash, okay? Now a bit less, obviously, but like when I was growing up, every time and someone called me fat, bro, I'm hitting the gym, 3-hour workout today. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kill it. And again, I'm a kid. I don't know. I don't have a workout routine. I'm just like going to the gym, having fun. It's trying to be active, okay? But every time you're fat, gym. You're fat, no food. You're fat, I'm not eating sweets. I wish more people told me I'm fat now. You know, that shit is motivating.
Health is eventually
so
going to be
digressing
35.
so hard.
Life is going to smack her right in the face, and she's going to be a victim to whatever happens to her because she spent the last 15 years avoiding growing up.
Yep.
Now I try to be empathetic, and
not how much you want to bet she didn't spend the last 15 years. She spent maybe the last 2 years like digressing. I feel like her condition happened because when she became like more adult, she started feeling pressures of society and she just went full haywire. Just fucking like her brain just broke.
I will say that if someone is acting like this as an adult, then they went through some stuff as a child. There's a reason why Max found DDLG desirable after seeing some videos on the internet. Over the years, I've listened to thousands of stories of people in pathological relationships. A lot of the time when you have a victim of severe abuse or tragedy, their development will arrest at a certain age. So if something bad happened at 5, then you might get an adult with the voice of a 5-year-old. There's a reason why Max chooses to roleplay at that age, and if she were to go to therapy, that is the time period that she needs to discuss. Whatever happened...
I love that he uses the word roleplay. I mean, technically he's not wrong, it is roleplay, but holy fuck, man. Like, you think roleplay, you think like other shit, not I'm 20 acting like a 5-year-old. And honestly, she's not even acting like a 5-year-old. Right? Like, like the comment says, like, you shouldn't be drinking from a bottle. You shouldn't be having a pacifier when you're 5. Maybe when you're 2, I think. At 2, it should end, basically, right? Maybe 3. But 5 years old, you're already like a little kid. Like, you practically go to kindergarten on your own. Well, not in this day and age. When I was a kid, we just walked as a group to kindergarten, right? You have your lunch bag. You have your bag. Like, you have the lunch box. You have your bag. You go to kindergarten. You hang out with other kids. Like, you know. That's what you do when you're 5 years old. If you're a 5-year-old and you're going to kindergarten and you still have a pacifier, bro, like, no one's talking to you. You're weird.
To her, I'm sorry that she had to go through that. That being said,
I'm not.
where I get a lot less sympathetic is when media companies take these well-known signs that someone is acting out trauma instead of getting treatment.
Yeah, and say,
pretend
this
that
is
a
cool.
normal, healthy
Yeah.
behavior as a way of suggesting that more people should become like this.
My daddy and I are very much in love, and this is something that we do to strengthen that bond.
This is what I mean. They're talking about how
Ah.
great the lifestyle is and how it
I think I just
empowers
swallowed
them
some
without truly providing
puke.
the psychological context that led to her desire for that kind of relationship. That is encouraging the behavior.
There are a lot of people in the community that do this sexually, and I am not one of those people. This is a completely non-sexual lifestyle for me.
I know a lot of people look down on more hardcore versions of the DDLG subset, but for a lot of people, it's non-sexual. And like for us, it's non-sexual.
Well, it's certainly creepy that people do that. Also,
So for them, it's non-sexual. I mean, is it not? Are you sure? You guys are having sex, right? You're in a relationship. She's 20, you're 31. You are having sex, right? Are you telling me when you're having sex, she never acts like a 5-year-old? She acts like an adult? You're telling me she doesn't do a little bit like a, oh, daddy. Oh, it hurts. I need to suck on something. You're telling me she doesn't do that when it's sexual? Come on, man. Come on. Who are you kidding? Come on.
so I don't believe you. I understand that you have to say that it's non-sexual for the camera, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that the vast majority of people would have trouble being intimate with a person who spends half the day pretending to be their daughter. There's a reason why this guy goes along with this role play.
I'm little when it's right to be, but of course it's not something that like I can't control. Like if we're out in public, you know, I don't just randomly like shout daddy because that's involving other people in something that they didn't consent to.
What? I mean, I guess it's kind of courteous. I mean, okay. As a positive note, at least she can differentiate the difference between like doing it in public and embarrassing herself and her partner and not doing it. Not because the public didn't consent, but because she knows it's retarded. Not normal.
Stop, I'm sick.
I bet some disgruntled editor cut her contradicting herself by saying daddy as she role plays in a public park with kids in the background, right after she said she doesn't do that. I honestly don't see how she could avoid doing this around children or other people who didn't consent to it if she's behaving like this in public. I don't believe she can fully control this behavior, or certainly in the future she won't be able to, because fetishes and strange behaviors like this
Yep.
are addictive and they progress over time.
I agree. If, like, again, as I said, I believe she probably can control it now. But I agree. If she keeps doing it, it's not so much that she won't be able to control it, it's that she would be even more comfortable with it to the point where she would do it everywhere. Right? It's a matter of comfort more so than a matter of control. Could be both, honestly, but like I believe it's a comfort thing first and foremost.
And get more intense as the person seeks things that are more novel. When someone is a new alcoholic and doesn't want other people to know, they will hide their alcohol stash like they're storing it in Fort Knox.
Yeah.
And they will never let people see how frequently they drink.
Yeah, but as it goes on, you just care less to the point where you're like always drunk and you walk around with that little silver container where you're like.
As as the years go on, that level of secrecy becomes inconvenient. They
Yep.
get less careful, and eventually they are just
You just
under
care
the
less.
influence all the time,
Yeah, I feel like
surrounded
they
by
care
beer
less.
bottles.
Yeah.
Even if Max doesn't
It's like they come to accept themselves for who they are. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drink. I don't get. I mean, they don't even accept that they're alcoholics. Yeah, I'm a drink. That's who I am. Fuck people, kind of thing.
do this now, if she doesn't get treatment, her role play will eventually progress to the point where she is not so careful to not impose on other people who didn't volunteer to be around it.
I am an adult. I'm 20 years old. I pay
Also, by the way, she was acting like a 5-year-old, and they made out. Like they had like a little kiss there. So don't tell me it's not sexual. Okay.
my bills. I do my taxes.
Yeah,
it's-
good job.
It's never interfered, and I don't think that it will.
Yeah, you're in your 20s and probably working unskilled labor. Come back and talk to me when you're ready for a real job and see how much not taking care of your mental health hurts you socially. It absolutely affects you because it is limiting the number of people who are willing to socially connect with you.
And if they see this video, good luck getting a good job. Straight. You're gonna be the next Lisa Ann complaining that life is not fair, people don't treat her as a human because of the shit she has done. Guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? You better find an online gig. You better find like an online something to make money off of. Because, yeah, I don't think a lot of people will take you as, unless they have a similar fetish, are gonna take you as a serious person for their, like, actual job. Let alone, you're 20, what do you, like, based on how she looks, and this is super judgmental, she either works at a distillery or what? Not distillery. What do they call it? Like where they sell weed. She's either a server or like she works in service, right? Like a server, bartender, dishwasher, all that stuff, or tattoo parlor. Those are the three I would go for. Maybe hairdresser, but probably the first three. I don't think hairdresser yet. Not in her 20s. Not in like when she's 20. She also like based on her hair, she's not really a hairdresser.
Now, I'm not saying that you can't do this role play. America is a free country.
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah, do whatever
If
you
they
fucking
really
want.
to behave like this,
Sort
that's
of.
fine, as long as they aren't causing harm to other people.
Yes.
But understand that role playing the avoidance of responsibility by saying things like "I never want to grow up" is going to make high quality people not want to be around you, and that will cause you to miss a ton of opportunity.
Yep.
Being socially
I mean, I still don't want to grow up. Fuck that shit. But it is what it is. Like, just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean you don't do it. You know, it's like sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, even if you hate it. That's how it is. That's life. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Unless you're born rich, your parents die young, and you have more money than you can ever spend, you just do whatever the fuck you want, then yeah, sure, go ahead. Then who cares? Unfortunately, that's not most of us.
desirable is important. Caring about what other people think about you is important.
Yes.
Look at the millennial generation. This doctrine of do whatever you want and don't care what people think was promoted during the childhoods of that generation.
Bro, just what I said, man. The don't care mentality. That's what's fucking people over. The don't care mentality. Just be yourself, bruh. Just be yourself. Yeah, I mean, if you just be yourself since like you were 5, you're gonna stay 5. No, you gotta fucking grow out of it. Start caring what people think so they can aim you at the right direction of who you wanna be. There's a difference between not caring about what people think and, you know, being an adult making right decisions. And like if people say like, oh, you're ugly, yeah, you don't care about that. There's like constructive criticism. It's like, listen, you're not right for this job, not skilled enough, not hardworking enough, whatever the reason is, that's criticism. Calling you ugly or whatever, that's not criticism, that's just whatever. That's like practically bullying, and that's the stuff you shouldn't really care about. But the stuff that like, you know, it's like, listen, I don't want you on my sports team because you're not really good at being a soccer player, right? And you're like, you can take that as, well, fuck, I suck. Or you can take that as, I need to be better. That's what he's actually saying, right? If you get fired for something, you just need to be better at whatever it is they said that you're not good at. Okay, shit like that. There's a difference.
And now you
I know
have a bunch of
this is
people in their
obvious
late
as fuck,
20s and
though.
early 30s who act like adult teenagers and can't get jobs because they've wasted tons of vital years doing nonsense instead of focusing on things that will make people like them, which makes it very hard to network. Tons of people have no idea how nice it is to have good friends who actually have the ability to help you when you need it. Those kinds of people...
I don't know what it's like, but actually, I mean... I'd say if I really needed help, I'd say my friends and my family, brother and cousin would help me out if I really needed help. I'm one of those people who really hates asking for help. I'd rather do stuff on my own. But like, again, if I really need help, like I'm like about to like, you know, like that's it. Like there's no other way. Yeah, I would ask for help. And I know like if I really need it, friends and family will be there. And it is really important to have those people around you. Right? But you don't want the people around you who always ask for help. It's like, bro, like, I have a life too. I can't always help you.
Well, don't want to be around people who behave like children or adolescents.
Yeah.
I will always have that childlike sense of wonder about me. And whether or not in
Childlike
years
sense of
I
wonder. If you have the childlike sense of... Dude, first of all, that's great. You want to have the childlike sense of wonder. Use it to advance your life. Like, what are you, like, what is the sense of wonder about what? What are you wondering about? What is, like, what do you want to explore? The world? Be a fucking tour guide. Explore the world. Learn about places. I don't know. Use that as something to move your life forward. Not to stay where you are. Not like, oh, it's a stuffed doll. Oh, my God. And, like, the next day, oh, it's a stuffed doll. Oh, my God. And the next day, oh, it's a stuffed doll, oh my... No, that's not a sense of wonder. That's the R word.
Pull myself a little, I know that I'm going to have that inside me because I don't want to grow up.
Oh
Again,
my God.
You're 20. You have no idea what you're going to be like when you're 40. Hopefully you become much different. This kind of like pseudo...
Here's the real question. What if something happens to your boyfriend? God forbid something does happen, but what if something happens to your boyfriend? What if he dies? Alright? What if he, like, you know, maybe you just break up? Who's gonna be your daddy then?
Starry-eyed mentality and not taking reality for what it is a sign that you aren't really developmentally where you should be at 20. This is what I would expect.
Just
from a
can't deal with
13-year-old.
stress.
There are so many red flags here, including the fact that her boyfriend is 11 years older than her. Spoilers, relationships with a 10-plus year age gap don't really have a great track record when it comes to healthy behavior.
To an extent, I agree. But I think it also kind of matters where the age gap starts. Like 40, 50, meh. 20, 30, yeah, I can see that. 18, 30, you know, like those couple of years really fucking matter. 30, 40, I mean, it's kind of there. I would say 33, 35 is when, like, dating someone 10 years older than you is fine. You're both, like, at that point, you're both, like, solid adults, you know? I can't even consider people in their 30s, like, early 30s, most of the time to be adults. Fuck, I can't consider myself to be an adult, so, you know, there's that. But, yeah, I would say, like, 35 plus, 10 years difference, I think that's fine. Usually, if they get together, it's more than physical. They usually have a lot of things in common. You don't really change much past those ages. So, yeah. But 20, 30, I can see that being a problem. 30 years old, you have very different goals from what a 20-year-old have. And if you're in 30 and your goals are similar to a 20-year-old, something is probably wrong with you. Just saying.
This guy has
Or the 20-year-old is a fucking, like, machine, just knows exactly what the fuck they want.
over a decade of experience as an adult, while she is just barely out of high school. Of course, as you get older, age difference matters less, but these two are in a completely different place in life, and that is not good for creating a space where you can communicate on the same level and grow together. Anyway, the story continues as Truly promotes another couple as alternative. This is Danny, who engages in puppy play.
Okay. We're gonna cut this video here. We'll call it part 1 because holy shit, it's already 35 minutes. So we're gonna cut this here and we're gonna continue in part 2. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, think before you sleep, And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.